Welcome to 101.7 KSAM and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. It's time for the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with Huntsville coach Rodney Southern. Live from True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Tonight, Coach Southern talks about last week's game and what to expect from this week's opponent. Now, let's go live to the coach and your host, Rob Hipp.
All right, well, good evening, Huntsville, Texas. How everybody doing today? Man, I love it. I love it, Brian. Good to see you, man. What's going on, man?
Good to see you. Good to be back on the Coaches Show.
Yeah, where were you at last week? What was going on, man?
Man, things were just going on.
Still some turkey left over from Thanksgiving?
That was part of it.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have Brian Adams back here. Always appreciate Brian. You know, I talk about you, Brian, that – you know, man, I couldn't do what I do here in Huntsville without you, so I sincerely appreciate all that you do, man. And it's good to be back. You know, Huntsville taking care of business, defeating Lamar Fulshear. We were at that game, of course, so we better have been at that game. A lot of fun up at Madisonville, and a 42-6. How about that? Finishing out undefeated on the regular season.
It's awesome.
And so just a great effort there by the Hornets and continuing to take care of business. Huntsville finished that regular season undefeated, 9-0, 6-0 in 10 5A Division II, 317 yards through the air.
Awesome.
We've talked, you know, week in and week out about A.J. Wilson and just how that line is protecting him, allowing him those connections are coming a lot. And then how about the defense allowing only 76 yards, negative 24 on the ground? Come on, defense. I keep talking about it. It's got to be the best defense in the state. Brian, real quick before we bring Coach on, just your thoughts on that game. It was a lot of fun, man.
Man, it was a lot of fun. You know, it's when you're going into the last game of the regular season and you're undefeated. Obviously, you want to close the deal and finish the season undefeated, which the Hornets certainly did. But you know what I've been enjoying this whole season with the Hornets. One is their confidence. It's through the roof. You know, you look at these young men out there playing. And they're going to go out there and they're just going to take care of business. And another thing that's been exciting for me, obviously the defense, Rob, we've talked about it every week, and arguably the best defense in the state of Texas at any level. But their offense reminds me of old school football. They are very balanced. They have two great running backs, great quarterbacks, wideouts, all the skill positions, a young but very effective offensive line. Just been so much fun to watch.
Awesome. Well, we're here live at True Texas Barbecue. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Rodney Southern. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
True Texas Barbecue, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly. True Texas Barbecue presents the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with Rob Hipp and head coach Rodney Southern live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Come early as seating will be limited. Sting 'em Hornets.
Hi, this is Jake with All Temp Heating and Air Conditioning. On behalf of all of us here at All Temp, we wish you and your family a safe Christmas season, and thank you for allowing us to serve you. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We look forward to seeing you in 2021.
All right, friends, welcome back as we are live here at True Texas Barbecue. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams as we are now joined by head coach Rodney. So let's give it up for Coach Southern. Good to see you, Coach. Well, Coach, you finished the regular season undefeated, something you've never experienced during your 19-year head coaching career. Now, you've been a coach, of course, for over 30 years, but 19 years as a head coach. I may be a little off on this. I know we had a couple of people, so I want to make sure, and I could be wrong on this. The last time the Hornets went undefeated from our initial research, and this is from Texas High School Football History.com, so they can get the heat for this one. They showed it as the 1953 season as the team went 15-0, so maybe the last perfect season perhaps. But, Coach, how special has this regular season been?
Well, considering all the, the crazy circumstances that started it, you go all the way back to August when we were having to kind of restart strength and conditioning and do skills. And, these guys have been doing, football skills since August the 3rd. And then you got all the COVID issues that have popped up in a lot of different places. We've been, very fortunate with that we haven't had a whole lot of impact with that. But, anytime you line up and play, in our case 9, because we didn't get to play Nederland early in the year because of COVID, you look and say you beat everybody that was put in front of you. It's a tribute to our program, but, for me, it's a tribute to all these kids because, they have bought in hook, line, and sinker to what we're doing. They understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. And, it's fun to go to work every day. It's fun to go to practice every day. And some kids would probably say different on that because, it gets old after a while because we've been practicing football for a long time. But I keep telling them, we may have 6 more weeks of this, which we hope happens. But, it's good to go undefeated. But, at this point now, you kind of have to put that behind you and, because you can't stub your toe now because if you do, you go home.
Well, by district, of course, coming up first round, we'll talk about that in the next segment. But, Coach, something that I wanted to make clear, maybe there's some folks watching us that, of course, everyone here in Huntsville is following, but maybe there's someone that says this Hornets team, there's a lot of teams that have the opportunity to go undefeated. Some of them do. But this district, I don't want to downplay how tough things have been, not only in the district, but just talk a little bit about the season before the district got started, your non-district play. You faced some very tough 6A teams. In fact, all those schools we played were 6A teams. That's impressive coming out of the gates and defeating those teams. And then, of course, running the table here in 10-5A.
Well, I think running the table in your district is tough because, you're going to get their best game. I still think, we talked about it as a staff. I think, what John Bofine has done at Montgomery in terms of going against a guy as a coach, he's probably one of the best in terms of preparation, for us to play as well as we played in that game and then have some mistakes and have to come back. And then you can go all the way back to, C.E. King. If you told me that we were going to have a game and the ball's on the 1-inch line and we're going to have 3 plays and we're going to stop them, I would have probably told you that wouldn't happen. So, a lot of that goes back to, and I told a couple people this today, this team – it has it, and I can't define what it is. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know it's there when I see it. And, when you have a team like that, I've had one other team very similar to this in 2004, and we lost a couple games early, but we ended up playing for a state championship. So, when you have that, you got to nurture it. You got to understand what it is. And when kids have it, some of it's confidence, some of it's a lot of different things. But, you look at, we played 3 6A teams. We beat all 3 of them. 2 of the 3 of them are in the playoffs. I still think our district is a solid district. Montgomery coming back and being solid helps us. A&M Consolidated historically, year in and year out, it's a really good football team. And, we just feel fortunate because we have handled all the things, but at the same time, you kind of got to be proud because you got a team that's beat everybody that you had a chance to play.
Well, always proud of our kids, of course. I did want to take just a brief moment and just say something about our district as a whole. You work with these coaches. You guys are all together, of course, and I've never seen a district with as much sportsmanship that I've witnessed here in this 10-5A. Not to downplay any other district in the state that I've ever covered, but I got to tell you, the kids from all the schools, and I just wanted to say a special thank you to all the districts that we were able to play this year because the hospitality and then more importantly the kids and the sportsmanship, that's something you don't see a lot on the field. We saw a lot of it here in our district, Coach.
Well, I think you got a level of coaching in our district from a professional standpoint. You also got some unique things in terms of, our district. If you look back now, the core of this district over the last 4 years has been the same, and we've either finished first or second the last 4 years. So I hope there's some respect for us and respect for our program because I know we have a lot of respect for a lot of the other programs in terms of how they do things. And, and today in football, the level of respect and the level of culture you have, to me, is more important than all that other stuff. And I think our district has that, and I know our program has that.
We can see it, Coach, trickle down, not to put you on a pedestal because I know you don't like that role, but it trickles down from the leadership, you and your staff, and that's something to be commended on, Coach. So thank you for what you do with these kids. Coach, I just wanted to go back to Fulshear briefly, and then Brian's going to hop in. One thing, a lot of penalties in this game. I know that's been an issue throughout the season that the Hornets have tried to work on. In this game, quite a few of them. The biggest thing that we noted, 3 of those came back. Those touchdowns came back on penalties. One of them, it's an opinion from us. I think it was questionable. It probably should have been a touchdown, but hey, that's the way it goes. But just kind of explain a little bit more on that and maybe some things that you guys have been working on to try to overcome that now that we enter in the playoffs.
Well, the biggest thing with penalties, I always look at them and go, are they discipline penalties or are they effort penalties? Because I think there's a big difference between jumping off sides and the pass interference that was called on Ethan Miner. And I shared with our booster club Monday night. I got an email from that official Monday, and I've never had an email from an official in a good way. And he actually apologized for that call and said, it should have been a touchdown. But jumping off sides or having illegal procedure penalties, and we had both of those the other night. Those are things that you can work on and fix. Jordan Woodbury's punt return for a touchdown. 2 of those blocks, one of them's questionable because of the new blindside rule, but he's also hustling. He probably ran 25 yards to get that block. So, you correct those kind of things. We corrected it yesterday on film, but at the same time, I don't want to coach the effort out of what we're trying to accomplish. Now, jumping off sides, you got to fix that.
Coach, talking about last Friday's game, and what are some of your takeaways from that game that you can improve on going into the first round of the playoffs?
Well, I think that's the first time offensively where we've thrown the deep ball as well as we did. We've hit some deep balls, but we have become an offense, I think, after 9 games now, and obviously a scrimmage against Lufkin. We've become an offense that can kind of do a multitude of things, but we can kind of do whatever they're going to give us. So we thought the other night there were going to be some times where they'd give us straight man coverage, and they did. And A.J. did a good job, of course, to Cornelius once, to Cameron Cole, and, hitting those plays that are people call explosives or whatever word you use. But, the ability to do that, and then if we have to turn around and run the football this Friday night, then, we feel good about being able to run the football. And I know our especially our O-line, they love to just line up in 2 backs and run the football. But, there's a lot of good things that come out of it. You take away the 4 touchdowns we had called back, if we get those, it's 70-6. And, it's kind of hard to say, what's wrong. But at the same time, we can't make those silly mistakes that pull a touchdown off the board.
I think one of those, I don't have the history books, but that Miner return from Ethan, man, I think that may have been a record setter. He was 2 yards back in the end zone. I mean, it looked like about 102 yards from where we were at.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's some history and some records, just like the undefeated thing. I told somebody that, and I think people started bashing me on.
Tell them to take it out on me, Coach.
On
that was
social
me.
media, saying no, we were undefeated in some other season.
That.
So, but it's good that I'm glad people do that, because now we know. Because
exactly.
There is some history and there is some stuff, but there's also some stuff we don't have. Jordan Woodbury's kickoff return several weeks ago, I think it's 102 yards. I think that's a record. I think that the other night, an interception, I think there's one, I've been told there was one that was considered 104. I don't know. We can't find anything on that, but Ethan would probably love to have both of them if, we don't have penalties. So, but we don't focus a whole lot at times on those records and things like that. We'll do that when the season's over and we recognize them at a banquet. So,
Coach, after the ball game was over, and that was by far the coldest night of the year playing in, but after the game was over, you go undefeated in district. You've got the golden football in front of you. What'd you tell your players?
Well, you got to be really careful, because we technically won the district the week before, and I didn't bring that trophy, and I did that for 2 reasons. I said, number one, I hope it's important to you that it says undefeated district champions versus district champions, and that's a little thing, but to me, at the stage of where our program is, that's a big thing. So that was number one, and number two, enjoy that. We gave them Saturday off because we needed more time, obviously, to get to work on film for the next week. But, we also told them we got a lot of football left. Be excited that you're the district champion, and we get to do a few things because of that. But at the same time, that doesn't matter to Nacogdoches right now. So, take advantage of it, enjoy it, but move on. And they came back Monday ready to go. And, you know, again, I think these kids have got it, and I don't know what it is, but I hope we can keep it.
You know what? I agree with that. You know, I hear from guys that played football for the Hornets years ago, and they say the same things. And I've been telling them, I said, man, this team is special. You know, I'm not sure what it is, like you say, and they recognize it too. And it is been fun for me, I know for Rob, to broadcast these games and watch these young men excel and play as a team, as a family. You know, and I want to back up real quick and talk about, I was talking last night with Sean Wilson. He was a punter our senior year, went on to play for the Aggies, and he goes, man, this team has got class. And it does. And that's something that when you came into this program 7 years ago, we talked about the culture, and the culture has done a 180 under your leadership. And one, I'm very grateful for that. My son went through your program, and I know these young men are going to be grateful for that as well as they get older. But this team has got it, and it wins with class.
Well, and you know, that's something obviously from day one, and you know me now for 7 years, that's something we preach from day one, because to me, you can't get in football, and you see it in the NFL, you see it in college, you see it in high school. You can't get to the level you want to get to without discipline and structure. And some people will argue that talent will outweigh all that, and you know, I will argue the other way 9 out of 10, because I know there's times where we've walked on the field and we're not the most talented. Now, we're the best team. And I tell these guys on Monday morning, I tell them, okay, here's where we are, here's what I think they are. Now, I may be wrong, but I'm going to tell you the truth about what we are and what the team we're playing is. And at the same time, I'm going to hold them accountable every minute that they are with me. And I think they would tell you to a person, I'm doing them a disservice if I don't do that. And I know sometimes they probably get irritated. You know, at 7:12, I walk in the locker room and say, let's go. You know, we start at 7:15, but it's 7:12. I said, yeah, but that gives you 3 minutes to be early. And those are little things that down the road when they've got a wife and kids and the boss is on their rear end about something and, you know, times are tough, they're going to revert back and go, you know, yeah, that old guy was actually right. He was yelling at me and getting on me, but he also held me accountable, and at the same time he cared about me too.
That's great. Well, Coach, you know, when we don't start at 6:30 on the dot here, I want you to be, come on, Rob, you know. So, well, Coach, appreciate your time. There's a country song about it, too. Is she's got whatever it is. I won't sing that. I only sing once before, so we won't do that. But the it factor is there. We're going to hear more from Coach Rodney Southern coming up here in our second segment in just a few moments as we look ahead. The Huntsville Hornets facing the Nacogdoches Dragons in the bi-district round of the playoffs. That coming up when we come back here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
True Texas Barbecue. Smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly. True Texas Barbecue presents the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with Rob Hipp and head coach Rodney Southern live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Come early as seating will be limited. Sting 'em Hornets.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas from Adams Furniture. That's right, folks, it's Christmas time. We're having a huge Christmas sale. How about Lazy Boy? $3.99 for a recliner, $4.99, $5.99. Big man's chairs, little ladies' chairs, they're all in stock, ready for immediate delivery. Listen, come in right now. We have a big mattress sale going on with the largest mattress dealer in Huntsville. How about Tempur-Pedic? How about Sealy? 60 months, interest-free financing. Listen, we also have a bed. You buy the queen-size mattress, we'll give you an adjustable base for free. Hey, that's a Christmas deal from Rudolph. Come on in, folks. It's happening right now at Adams Furniture. How about sofas for $3.99? Hey, we've got room packs for $8.99. This is a huge Christmas sale going on right now at Adams Furniture. This stuff is in stock at my store. It is ready. All the store has inventory in it. Come in to see us for our Christmas sale. It's going on right now. Remember, that's Adams Furniture at 75 North and 10th Street, or shop online at shopadams.com.
All right, friends, welcome back here at True Texas Barbecue. Thank you to True Texas tonight, as always, and Vicki and all that she does in our community. We talk so much about so many people here in Huntsville that work very hard to make things happen. This season, as far as the broadcast go, would not be possible without many partners, including our good friends here at True Texas Barbecue. We're back talking to head coach Rodney Southern in our second segment as we look ahead, Coach, facing the Nacogdoches Dragons here in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Nacogdoches 5-4 overall. They finished fourth in their district, 4-3 in 2-5A Region 3. They defeated Marshall 28-13 last week to secure that final playoff spot. Coach, just a simple question I always ask, mindset heading into this first round, the bi-district.
Well, I think our mindset's in a really good place, obviously, because, we've had so much success over the last 10 weeks now. But you also got to look now and you got to go, okay, and the thing I told them Monday morning is focus on all the little things, focus on the little bitty things in film, the little bitty things in practice, because that's going to be the difference at some point, whether it's the first week or the fourth week of the playoffs, that, one of those little bitty things is going to come back and it's going to be in our favor because we've taken care of some of that. But, I think we're in a really good place as a program. Our kids were excited yesterday. We got a bunch of young kids out there practicing and getting that extra time, which is really good for our program in the future. And so it's good to be in the playoffs, and obviously it's good to be in the situation we're in right now.
Coach, what are the Hornets going to have to do next week to establish themselves early in the ballgame?
Well, big thing is, Nacogdoches has kind of had an up and down, for lack of a better way to say it. They've played, the two best teams in that district are Marshall, or I thought talent-wise were Marshall and Texas High, and they played both of them tough. They should have beat Texas High. It was 21-17. They had the ball on the 1-yard line and fumbled. That ended up costing them the game. They beat Marshall by 15 and had a chance to score probably 2 more times. They struggled then against a couple other teams, White House and Pine Tree, but they struggled because they turned the ball over. They turned the ball over 4 or 5 times against White House, 2 of them in the kicking game, which are obviously huge plays. So, we don't know for sure we know what we're going to get. We know what we're going to see. But you never know with a team that, has played well at times and then struggled at times, what you're going to get early. And the weather obviously may be a factor this Friday because there's supposed to be a 70-80% chance of rain. So you got to prepare, and obviously we'll prepare both sides of the ball. And big thing may be the special teams this week. So you never really know in the first round of the playoffs because you're going to get their best effort, obviously. But at the same time, they're going to get our best effort too.
Coach, as we look forward to Nacogdoches on Friday, just some positions on their side of the ball, maybe some player positions that we should keep an eye on.
Well, the thing that kind of surprised me when we really started watching film, of course, our offensive staff and defensive staff kind of split up and start looking at their sides of the ball. And I look for a lot of other little things, like big thing, they only dressed 33 varsity players the last game. They've got 3 or 4 key guys that play a lot on both sides of the ball. Number 4, their strong safety, and number 5, a safety / receiver / whatever they need him to do, kick returner, punt returners. So they've got some guys, like most East Texas teams, they've got some guys that can really run, but those guys are all over the place. Number 4, I feel like is their best football player all over the field. But if they're dressing 33, and I'm sure they'll have some other kids, that they'll bring up this week, but, it almost forces them to play some guys both sides of the ball, so we got to take advantage of that.
Coach, just real simple, what are your keys to victory?
Well, big thing, depending on what the weather does, handle that, because that's going to be the first thing that we'll have to deal with when we get there. Second thing, whatever they give us offensively, we've got to be able to execute, and we've got to be able to score points. Defensively, formation-wise, they're basically a 2-back offense. It's a lot of whether the guy motions to 2-back or ends up in 2 backs or motions from 2 backs to 1 back. So we've just got to know what we're supposed to do defensively. We're going to lean on those guys because hopefully we can get pressure on this quarterback. He probably, over the last 6 or 7 weeks, he's probably thrown the deep ball better than anybody we've seen. So we're going to have to obviously be really good in the secondary. And big thing, protect the ball and cut down on those penalties.
Coach, final question here before we talk to our players. Overall health of the team right now, how have practices been? It's been beautiful outside.
Well, practice yesterday was really good. Today's our work day. You know, we watch film all morning in athletics, and today's an inside run and a team period, and that gets long. But that's the day you got to get that work done, and we got all that work done, and you know, we got the typical bumps and bruises, but you know, we're going to walk out Friday night exactly like we did last Friday night, which is, you know, as healthy as you can be this time of year.
Brian, any final questions for Coach before we end this segment?
No, I just again, Coach, it has been a fun regular season to watch. Looking forward to Friday night, and this is when it counts the most. Yeah. You know, one game at a time, and I know you've prepared these young men, and I'm excited to call the game and be there to watch it.
It should be a good one.
Awesome. Well, Coach, appreciate your time. Let's give it up, Coach Rodney Southern, on an undefeated season, Coach. First time in 19 years a head coach, and that is a huge feat. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from senior offensive lineman Mr. Jose Cruz. Stay with us. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We are live from True Texas Barbecue. We'll be right back.
True Texas Barbecue, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly. True Texas Barbecue presents the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with Rob Hipp and head coach Rodney Southern live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Come early as seating will be limited. Sting 'em Hornets.
Why are people driving from all over Texas to Wiesner Hyundai to get a real deal? And during the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event, save even more. How about a 2020 Hyundai Elantra SE or Venue SEL, your choice, $14,888, or no payments till July. Or a 2020 Hyundai Sonata SE or Kona SEL, your choice, $17,888, or no payments till July. Buy for less at Wiesner Hyundai. Exit 87B, Wilson Road in Conroe, or WiesnerHyundai.com.
Check out America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, and the Hyundai Assurance Program today.
All right, friends, welcome back. We're having fun tonight. Everybody doing okay tonight? How's the barbecue out there, man? Come on. True Texas Barbecue. We are back live here in Huntsville, Texas at True Texas Barbecue. Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams. We are now joined. Let's give a big round of applause. Senior offensive lineman, Mr. Jose Cruz. Welcome, Jose. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. So, you know, things rocking and rolling on the season. Before we dig into that, I mean, how you said you've been doing good today. Beautiful day outside, right?
Yeah, it's not as cold as usual, you know.
What's it been like, you know, practicing on some of these cold mornings, though, man?
It's been all right. It's not been the best practice in the cold morning, but, like, it's been passable. Do
y'all have the hand warmers? I always wanted to know that. Do you have the hand warmers?
No.
No hand warmers,
no
man.
Hand warmers.
You guys just warm it up on the field. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking to Jose Cruz here. Want to talk to you first, Jose. Senior on the team, undefeated season. I know that the real things right now for you guys, you're happy about the undefeated season. The playoffs, though, is really where you want to start getting after it. You guys have been getting after it. But I do want to go back and ask you, what does it feel like? What's going through your head as you guys wrap up an undefeated regular season?
Well, it feels awesome since, like, last year to do anything, like, to play high school football. And this is the way I would have liked to end it in my season, you know.
So did you play a lot last year?
Not really. I wasn't really a star player last year at all.
Well, now you guys on that front line, and you know, I talked to a lot of offensive line guys and even the D line, and they don't want to take credit, but I do want to give you credit because you guys are creating so much pockets for AJ to be able to run in and running back. I want to give you a round of applause for that. You guys don't get enough recognition for what you do, man.
No doubt. So, you know, if it wasn't for these guys, you wouldn't have anything. I mean, the O-line is where everything starts, and it is a very important job. And without you guys, I mean, there would be no offense. I mean, you guys are blowing open some amazing holes and keeping AJ protected. And, man, it has been you guys are doing a great job. It's been fun to watch.
We're talking to Jose Cruz, the senior offensive lineman. Talk a little bit just about kind of the culture of the team this year. We've talked a lot about that already throughout this season and today. What has it been like this year? The guys have really came together. Can you talk a little bit about that and just what the atmosphere is like when you're out there on game day?
Well, the atmosphere is like just the best feeling in the world because you get to play with your friends out there, the people you've been playing with since freshman year, you know. It just feels great playing with them.
Now, did you grow up in the Huntsville community?
Yeah, I was born and raised here.
All right, native, man. Great. So that's what it's all. That's what we're talking about, man. Well, going back and looking at this season, what have you enjoyed most about this season so far?
Well, we played some great teams, and well, it's been great beating them. Yeah.
Jose, going forward, what part of your game could you improve on?
Well, me specifically, I think I could knock more people down.
All right, come on, knock them down. Knock them down.
Hey.
You know, we've been calling it Slamsville. It's Huntsville, Slamsville. So yeah, keep knocking them down, man.
Absolutely.
As far as your team, you know, it's hard to pick some things apart, but as far as your team as a whole on the offensive side, where do you think you guys can work on and improve on?
I think I don't really see a lot that we could work on, but like specifically, I don't know, just work, polishing some stuff up that we've been working on for a while. You know, that's about it.
You know what? I want to give him another little pat on the back real quick. And, you know, I've been watching you do such a good job all year long. And one of the things that I always try to tell my son or anybody else is you play football until the whistle blows. Okay? I mean, you're finding somebody to hit, you're finding somebody to block, and you never know when that second and third effort is going to spring something for a huge play. And you guys on that offensive line, I've seen it all year long, y'all play until the whistle blows. Tell me about that. Tell me about your O-line comrades, as it were, and tell me about y'all's game there.
Well, it's a lot with our coaching now, Coach Lott. His mentality is you're gonna own the guy across you, or he's gonna own you. So that's what we do. We try to own the guy.
Man, that's awesome.
Who's your favorite coach on the team?
Well,
Coach Southern's not here. He left already. I'm just kidding, man.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, okay. That's probably a good answer.
All of them.
All of them, yeah,
I
all
like
of them.
all my coaches.
Yeah, there you go, man. Well, you know, Nat coming up by district round of the playoffs. What are you looking forward to most about this game?
Well, it's a little bit of a step up of a competition, so I like that. More competition, you know.
And you guys have faced some tough competition all year. You know, like I was talking with Coach earlier, this hasn't been a run-of-the-mill district season. This has been a very tough district, and you guys have proven yourself time and time again. You know, talking about just as you continue to grow, and who do you look up to? Who's been some role models in your life?
Well, in my life, my dad's been a big role model. My mom's been a role model. And, on the football field, Coach Lott's been a role model too, since he's been tough on us, and he wants the best for us to get to improve, you know, and to win. So I respect Coach Lott a lot.
And you have family. Do you have family here tonight?
Yeah, they're right over there.
Who's joining you tonight, man?
My mom, my brothers, my sister, and and my dad.
All right, well, let's give it up for your family, man. Thank y'all for being here tonight.
Jose, I'm an old Hornet from way back. What does it mean for you to be a Hornet?
It means the world with me, you know. I was born and raised in this town, so I want to do the best I can to leave my mark in football history in this town, you know.
Man.
You're making a history this
I love
year,
it.
man. Hobbies, where do you want to be? Man, well, I'm going to ask you that next. Hobbies, what do you like to do outside of football, man?
Oh, I like welding, you know.
Welding?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. So what are some things that you've welded before?
Well, I've welded just a few things, like specifically a cage. That's about it. And then I just mostly practice and try getting my certificates in.
Awesome, man.
That's a good, there's lots of avenues for success in welding. So keep it up. Keep doing everything you're doing. You're doing it right.
Future plans, you're a senior. You know, this is it, man, this year. And then it's on to the next ride, the next show. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do, man? What's in your future?
Well, if everything works out, I want to play college ball. But if it doesn't, I got welding to, you know, straight out of high school.
What's your favorite college? Have you thought about any interest, kind of what college, where would you like to be?
Well, kind of want to go with Sam since it's in town, but like anywhere in Texas would be fun too. You know?
Great, man. Well, I asked some of you guys this. 30 years from now, you're Googling your name, and you search for best offensive line in the history of Huntsville Hornets, and Jose Cruz pops up, and you see this video. What would you tell yourself, man, 30 years from now, looking back?
I'd be like, hey kids, look at this. It's your old man whooping some butt.
That's right. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Love it, man. Camera's right there on you, Corey. Who do you want to send a shout-out to tonight?
Not really. I don't know.
Let them over there.
Yeah, they're right there, so I would like to give a shout-out to, I guess, Coach Live, you're watching. Hey, I'm over here.
All right. Well, Coach, I think we know who the favorite coach may be, by the way.
Right.
Well, let's give it up one more time. Jose Cruz, good to have you, young man.
Jose, good job, man.
Well, we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to senior quarterback Jarrett Ortega. Stay with us. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
True Texas Barbecue, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly. True Texas Barbecue presents the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with Rob Hipp and head coach Rodney Southern live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Come early as seating will be limited. Sting 'em Hornets.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Texas Army National Guard. Aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
All right, Huntsville, Texas, we're back here at True Texas Barbecue. I'm getting hungry, Brian. I need to get
I know, right?
You know, man, like 2 weeks ago, I said I'm going to start eating healthy, and I did for like a day and a half.
Yeah,
and
what
then,
happened to that?
And then the McRib came back, man.
I saw
and what am I doing? I need to be here at True Texas Barbecue eating real stuff, man.
That's it, man. This is where the real stuff is. Here.
Well, hey, we're joined now by senior quarterback Jarrett Ortega. Let's give it up for Jarrett. Welcome, man. Good to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Well, Jarrett, defensive MVP this week. Come on, man.
Nice.
I'm gonna give one. I'm gonna told you we're gonna keep moving. Defensive. I got a little special here. Let's see if it'll work. Stand by here. Hold on 1 second, Jarrett. Let's see if this works. I like that y'all use Twitter, man.
In any case, it's a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. Hausman throws, it's intercepted. Huntsville on their way on the left side. 30, 20, 10, pick 6, baby. That's a touchdown.
Now they left it out, though. I was like, Jarrett Ortega! That was the way to do it, man. Come on.
Thank you.
Well, he took that one 55 yards to the house on a pick 6 this past Friday. Your defense continues to be amazing, Jarrett. What was that like, picking that off? You knew right when you had it right.
It's awesome. At first I thought I was going to fall, and then I realized I was still up, and I just had to run.
Well, you know, man, you guys have continued just to improve every week on the defensive set. Do you feel like maybe there's a target on your back because you guys are so good? How do you feel about that?
I feel that teams look at us now like our defense is a strong suit, so they got to tear us apart to beat us.
You're a senior on the team, cornerback, leadership role as that senior. Talk a little bit about that and just kind of your leadership role on the team this season, young man.
It's cool because all the young guys ask you what they need to do and how to correct their stuff. So you got to tell them and kind of coach them up when they can't get a hold of the coaches when they're working on other things.
And you don't charge them, do you? Okay, I'm just making sure. Because when I was in football, they charged me. Then they said we can't do that. That's good, man.
Hey, Jarrett, what do you enjoy most about being a DB for the Hornets?
The intensity, having to face different sized opponents that line up across from you.
You know what? It's Rob and I, we call it all your defense all kinds of things. Hitsville, swarm, slams, just everything. And it's been very impressive. And, again, I keep talking about these old school Hornets that keep, they'll text me, they'll call me, they'll text during the game, all kinds of things. They are so impressed with your intensity, with y'all's ability to just, impose your will on all these offenses out there. How do y'all do that? What allows y'all to do that?
Well, the D-line to start with. The DBs wouldn't get their shine and the linebackers wouldn't get their shine without them. So shout out to Ed, Brian, Q, and whatever end lines up on the other side of Q. And then the DBs, coaching up the other DBs, being a leader to them since I am the only returner. And then the linebackers are just always there in the right spots.
You know, you talk about being the only returner this season. What was going through your mind at the start of the season?
I was confident. Ethan Miner, he's a good DB. Tank coming back. Tank was strong before he left for basketball. And then Waylon's also a really great safety.
Well, you guys have been playing, as I've said over and over, and everybody, talk about just how good you've been, but there's always room for improvement. Where do you feel that you as an individual can improve on?
Personally, I think being more physical, because sometimes we do come down to the line of scrimmage and open up gaps and stuff by being less physical or not as physical as we should be.
And would that translate over, for you talking about being more physical, does that also translate over to your entire defense?
Yes, sir. Because sometimes some of us like to take plays off, and it's playoffs now, so that's not really something you can do.
You go through the whole season, what do you think's been the most exciting game that you've been able to be a part of? I mean, last week was pretty good.
I had a really good game against Lake Creek, Montgomery, and then last week against Lamar Forshire, but probably Montgomery because it was a close one.
Amazing. These young men out there, it's been a while for me since I've seen a more physical team. And I've seen some hits that you guys have laid out on some of these players that are just amazing. And y'all walk and play with an air of confidence on both sides of the football that goes back to what Coach Southern's saying. This team has it. Describe that a little bit.
I think the it he's talking about is the chemistry we have. A lot of us grew up playing youth football here in Huntsville or played against each other from other youth leagues around here. So a lot of us grew up with each other.
Y'all got to be careful on some of those hits because we can fill them up in the booth. And Brian is getting to that age where he's starting to get a little brittle and he gets nervous. So,
right.
Okay?
Yeah, you got to take it easy on me.
Just kidding, man.
No, but, honestly, that the intensity level of you guys is so much fun for us to watch. And all the fans that come, you've got people with this stuff being on YouTube and on KSAM and everywhere else, you got people all over the world that are watching you guys. We have people from Germany, Hawaii, Virginia, Ohio, just all these different places, and they're all saying the same thing. This team's got it. And Terry colleagues don't take any time off now. It's playoffs, so it's time to just every play counts. But, man, Jarrett, your play has been tremendous this year. I congratulate you. And just keep it up.
Nacogdoches coming up. Talking about playoffs, Nacogdoches on Friday. What are you looking forward to about that game? What would you like to get started early?
The intensity. Setting a tone that we've set all season long defensively.
Does the mindset change a little bit now that you're going into playoffs? I know that you still go through the motions and you still practice, but do you feel any additional pressure? Do you feel more expectation? Kind of tell us a little bit about that now that you're entering the playoffs.
Well, starting the season, the expectation was to make all the doubters wrong. And now since we did and we went undefeated during the regular season and preseason, it's postseason now, so we have to be stronger and correct the little mistakes.
Some role models in your life, man. Who do you look up to?
My mom, she's been there my whole life. DB I look up to in the NFL is Jalen Ramsey. His intensity is phenomenal. He's like DeAndre Hopkins said, he's the best corner he's ever faced. I look up to the coaches because they've all meant something and taught us something in football.
And you have family here joining you tonight?
Yes, sir, my mother.
All right, let's give it up for Mama. Welcome, Mama. It always man, there's always a good mama behind everybody, man. So thank you for being here tonight and for what you do. Huntsville Hornet, Brian played here. A lot of folks have played here over the years. This community is very intertwined. It's a place that a lot of people grow up and they're here and they love it here. What does it mean to you to be a Huntsville Hornet, to grow up and now to play and to wear that jersey, man, that says Hornets?
Well, since I was little playing HYFL, I always wanted to grow up and play Friday nights. So actually playing Friday nights now, it means a lot.
Jarrett, what are some of your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing outside of football?
Well, in school, I'm in the criminal justice internship right now. So that's a lot of fun. And then I like playing and coaching my little brother because he likes following my footsteps in football and baseball.
What's your little brother's name, man?
Justin Zane.
Give him a shout out, man. He may be watching.
It probably is.
How old is he?
He's 7.
All right, man. Well, little brother, welcome him in, man. Future plans? Where do you want to be?
Honestly, I have 2 career paths. I'd like something in engineering because my dream school is LSU. But since I am in the internship now, I did like the idea of being a homicide detective.
Awesome. Brian, any final questions?
Well, I think you're on the right path. You know, I can tell by talking to you, and, you know, what's fun for me is I look at you Hornets out there playing on Friday night, and you're a family. You know, both sides of the ball. You just said you grew up with these guys. You played with and against and run around with them. And you guys are going to go to battle Friday night together, and wish you all the best against Nacogdoches.
Thank you.
Awesome. Camera's right there on you, man. 2.8 million people around the world watching you tonight. Who do you want to send a hello to today, Jarrett?
I want to say hello to my grandparents up in Longview, Texas.
All right, man. Let's give it up for Grandma and Grandpa. All right. Well, hey, good to have you, man. Jarrett Ortega, let's get him, man. Let's sting him on Friday, all right, young man?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll step aside and take a break. Just a few more closing remarks when we come back. Stay with us. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from True Texas Barbecue. We'll be right back.
Nice job, man.
All right, friends, well, welcome back. Not sure we're not getting our radio feed, so we'll just continue. I know that we're still online, so we're not going to worry about that. But Brian, a good show here today, man. As we come back here from True Texas Barbecue, a lot of fun. Appreciate Vicky and all of her staff here. But Brian, again, looking forward to the game coming up on Friday. It's going to be a good one. You know, the Huntsville historically's had Nacogdoches' number, and something to think about. We haven't had the Battle of the Piney Woods this season at the college level, so this is kind of like a mini Battle of the Piney Woods. I don't know if that's trademark. I don't want to get in trouble, but it kind of is, man.
But yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about it. You know, a little mini Battle of the Piney Woods, and it's the first round of the playoffs, and this is where it gets serious. And you know, I'm looking forward to it, and I know the Hornets are going to be prepared. These coaches, you know, are just excellent coaches, and you can see these players. Just again, Rob, their confidence level is through the roof. And anytime you got a good team and confident, man, that's going to be tough for any opponent to handle there.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Of course, we'll be out there with the 7:30 pregame show that will be live at, or it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Pregame. Yeah, sorry, Brian. Got a little sidetracked here. Anytime you have IT issues in the middle trying to produce a show, that's always a lot of fun. But, you know, looking forward to the game. Huntsville, we're expecting a good game. It's going to be a little bit rainy, though. So, you know, as a former player, that can wreak a little bit of havoc. Maybe that's what we saw with some of those plays last week because it was very cold out there on the field.
Well, you know, the good thing is the Hornets, the last 2 ball games, have had really kind of inclement weather. Against Montgomery, it was wet and raining a little bit. And, of course, last week, you know, against Fulcher, it was cold. And so that's going to only help the Hornets because whatever the weather is, I mean, that's what you're going to be playing in. And you just have to adapt to it. And the one thing they'll need to do is they're going to have to hang on to that football. If it is wet and if it is raining, they've got to watch the turnovers. They've got to hang on to that football like it's a gold football, whatever. You got to keep those turnovers down to a minimum. And if they can do those things and execute like they've been doing all year long, it's going to be a Hornet win.
Well, the Booster Club not here tonight. They are busy taking care of business. Normally we hear from the Boosters with the Booster Update. Brandy McLaren did want me to let everybody know that there is a pre-order pickup tomorrow and Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 in front of the field house. So a pre-order pickup, I'm assuming, for playoff gear. So make sure that you get over there and take care of that. You can find out more information on Facebook. Just follow them at Huntsville Hornets football. Brian, one last thing that I wanted to bring up, and we'll just briefly talk about this. Unfortunately, we don't have the rights to do video, and so I want to let everybody out there know that is nothing to do with Huntsville ISD. It's nothing to do with us at KSAM. That is strictly on the UIL and their agreements that they have in place with other partners. I am working diligently with many other broadcasters throughout the state. We're also getting some state representatives involved. We want to change those rules. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just want to let folks know, unfortunately, we will not have video of that. We tried. But there's other organizations that unfortunately have those agreements in place, and if they want the game, they get it. I don't think it's fair, but that's just the way it goes. But we're still going to bring a high-quality audio broadcast. We'll actually have a camera in the broadcast booth, and we will still make sure that our sponsors get their due shout-out, because I can tell you, anybody else coming in, they don't know the team like you do, Brian, and I want to make sure that our community gets that hometown coverage that they're deserved to. And like I said, we're going to fight really hard with the new organization that I have formed now, the Texas Association of High School Broadcasters, and we've already got about 35 guys across the state. We've got several state representatives, and we're going to push really hard to try to see some real change happen. I think it's important for these communities, and that the school districts should be the ones that make the decision on who broadcasts their kids. And that's all I'm really going to say about that.
You know, and I agree with you. And the neat thing about this community is it's special, and this community loves their Hornets, always have. I mean, from way back. I mean, this is a special community. Wonderful place to grow up. I'm so glad about these kids being a part of this, and we're certainly going to bring them a great broadcast of this ball game. It's unfortunate we won't have video, but I know there's lots of things behind the scenes that you're doing to try to fix that, which it should be. And looking forward to Friday night.
We're excited about it. We're going to continue to rally and be excited, and we just can't thank everybody in the community enough. The school district has been so generous this season. I want to give a special round to Huntsville ISD. Thank you for all that you do. I couldn't have done what I've done without Lisa and so many others. Shannon has been a big part of that as well, and just so many great folks with Huntsville ISD helping to make that possible. There's a chance that, we go on to the next round. Maybe we can do video, but these organizations unfortunately eat up all the playoff games, and we usually don't get the rights to do that. So we'll do what we can on our end, but otherwise we are excited. We are looking forward. We are very proud of our kids, and we're looking forward to a Hornets victory, Brian, coming up on Friday.
No question about it. Friday Night Lights. A little mini Piney Woods, and going to be a Hornet victory.
We'll have the audio, of course, not only on, so we'll have it on social media through KSAM, KHVL, all of our social media platforms. We'll have it on YouTube, the audio only. We're also, of course, going to have it on the radio feed at KSAM, of course, listen on 101.7 FM. And I believe we're also going to try to pull that on as well as KHBL on our other station as well. So We're excited about that. So We're going to bring a lot of coverage as much as we can, and looking forward to it. Brian, any closing thoughts before we go, man?
No, what a great show tonight. It was good to talk to these young men tonight. They had just an excellent game last week and actually all year long. We appreciate them coming up, appreciate their parents being here and everybody else that came in here tonight. I want to thank you for that and all the support all year long. Let's come out Friday night and let's take home a win.
Let's do. Is that Melton back there, by the way? Let's give it up for Melton. He's been the man behind the camera most of this season. He's been doing the hard work, man. So thank you, Melton, for all of your work, and TJ Garrett as well. My buddy Nathan Hyde, of course, also. Friends, as I end every broadcast, I want to remind you tonight that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there tonight needs you. On the count of three, let's give them a sting 'em Hornets like we always do, friends. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Sting 'em Hornets. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.
True Texas Barbecue, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas Barbecue inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the